the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Morning, man.
Morning.
Nice little fall morning.
Yes, sir. How's the weather out there in Ohio?
It's nice today.
Oh, there you go.
Finally got me some fall.
Fall. Okay. We've been in a fog. We've been in a patch of fog. I wasn't here this time last year. I didn't get here till November of last year. I don't know if this is common, but been extremely foggy. More so even than like the Venice vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm thinking that work because I'm sort of surrounded by water. I'm wondering if this little, what's that called, Andy? A peninsula? And you're surrounded by water, or is that the other? Yeah.
I don't know. I should know. That was grade school.
I think it's a peninsula.
You learned that in grade school.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to update you on something because last episode you asked me, I think it was to start the show or close to the start of the show, where I was in terms of wanting a championship for my teams. And yesterday I had to work early at a quick podcast recording yesterday morning, and then went from that to watching the end of the early games into the late games, Mets at Adam Carolla's warehouse, where he has a big projector and he had his TV, so he could set your YouTube TV multi-view. And then he has like a YouTube TV multi-view set up. And then he also has like DirecTV, which, by the way, everybody there was a boomer. So like me never having worked there, never having been there before, not knowing that this is working on like 4 different TV systems, had to at some point take control of the controller and be like, I got this, guys. You guys, if I need you guys to tune into AM radio stations, I'll give the controller back to you. But for now, let somebody who knows how to work an Apple TV remote handle this. So we got all the games on one big projector, plus the Mets game. And Mets game was coming down to the end. Big comeback in the 9th to tie the game. Giants seemingly blowing the game. Like it got pretty close at the end of the Giants game after being kind of in control the whole game. There was a field goal to tie at the end. And one of the guys there said, what's more important to you right now? And I was like, I don't care if the Giants lose every single game for the rest of the season if the Mets win this one game.
Because it would give them a 2-0 lead. And that's
because it would give them a 2-0. Yeah, it would give them a 2-0 lead. Plus, the Giants have gone into full ruin my football season mode where now we're going to win games. I hate it when team can't even fucking tank properly.
I don't know if I agree with that assessment of the Giants at this point. So is there been a game, remind me, so they've played 5 games. Has there been a game where they've just gotten their ass kicked?
Game 1 against Minnesota, but everybody in Minnesota's undefeated and looks fantastic.
So that's what I'm saying.
So a lot of people were like, these will be 2 of the worst teams in football. And then when you get beat by one of the teams that everybody thinks is one of the worst teams in football, you're like, fuck, who gives a shit? Now,
but that's my point, is that now they've been in every game. You know me, I don't like to play the what if game, but they could easily, like, they're going to beat Washington. Like,
they should have beat Washington.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
and Washington looks really good now.
They do.
And they honestly could, I don't want to say should, but certainly could
have beat
have beaten
Dallas.
the Cowboys. Yeah, but now we're at a point where we're what, 2-3. We're still in last place in the NFC East. We're still in like, 13th place or something like that in the conference. Like, this isn't a playoff team unless you go on a run. And like,
Yeah, but I would make the argument you're getting the call. I mean, again, I always go back to like the culture matters. If they can even, I know what you're saying. You'd rather have a high pick, but we already know future wide receiver and Neighbors. My point is he's already shown that. So if you can put pieces around, the quarterback is still a question mark.
although goddamn, like this is also more annoying. Daniel Jones has looked great like 2-3 weeks in a row.
That's what I'm saying. So he played well. He's played well recently, and I've been surprised how well he's played.
It was almost like,
Dude, you know what's funny? I didn't realize this till I looked last night. I was like, that spread was ridiculous. Of course I took the Giants. You took the Seahawks.
yeah. Well, it was what, 5.5?
Dude, it was like 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't like the Giants last year. The season ended when the Giants got butt raped by the Seahawks at home.
But okay, so the Giants have the Bengals Sunday Night Football. You have a 2-3 team and a 1-4 team. That's gonna be a dog. I could be wrong. I expect a dogfight of a game.
I see. This is the thing about the Giants season and why I was like, just give me a Mets win here. It's like, yeah, the Bengals are a 1-4 team. The Bengals, I'm sorry, Justin, I picked you guys to win the game. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I picked them to win the game on Thursday. Your playoff chances are 0. You have a 0% chance of making the playoffs.
What was that defense?
You're not making the playoff. It's over. Season's over. Season is over.
You doing the Vince Carter?
It's over. You had, not only did you not win that game, you had that game.
Will you finally come to my side on Zach Taylor? I mean the thought of
here's the thing on Zach Taylor, which is we're still like it's week 5 or whatever, and we're like talking about that. Like there's so much of Bengals history where it's like you don't have to talk about them in week 1. You could do the it's over before it starts. Like,
but my point is that game, which was so high scoring, both defenses were trash. The Bengals defense came in not being able to stop the run. So you knew they were going to put 8 guys in the box and say, beat us with your arm, Lamar. And it's pretty easy, to be honest. He did. Joe Burrow, you could argue, and I will make this argument, is playing the best football he's ever played. The offense is rolling every week. Jamar Chase couldn't be stopped. If you get that fluke turnover, after Lamar fumbles it right on the snap, and you have it at their at their 40-yard line, Joe, and even, I don't know if you probably couldn't hear the announcer. I forget who it was. I think it was maybe Trent Green or something. But he's saying, you have Jamar Chase one-on-one on 2 of those 3 plays. Dude, don't just run the ball up the middle 3 times and settle for a 52-yard field goal with a rookie holder. But that's what I'm saying. Like that is classic. You're not playing aggressive when you have the weapons to play.
There is a gross trend in NFL coaches to overthink the simplicity of the game. Like, put my nephew with a Madden controller in your fucking offense coordinator's chair, and he's like, Jamar Chase is 98 and the defensive back guarding him is a 71.
72, yeah.
He's not going to stop him. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, the guy who at that point had 189 yards, 100 whatever, 2 touchdowns. You're just like, why are you even just do a quick hit to him? if he breaks the guy, the game's over because he's just gonna score a touchdown. It's stuff like that where these guys and a coach like that, again, play scared. Why pay Burrow if you don't trust him? Like, your running game sucks. And I guess allegedly Burrow audibled out of one of those to a run, but
You all you Bengals fans owe Joe Mixon an apology, huh?
no. I was never. I think they have a nice little running back in Chase Brown. They just don't give him the ball enough. But I agree with your assessment of they're done. You have no deep. I mean, no defense.
So now you go back to the question at hand, which is Giants, and it's like the Bengals are done. The Giants, now everybody's like, oh, don't. You're gonna forfeit your whole season for a game 2 NLDS win. And I'm like, yeah, because you know what I know about this fucking Giants team? They're gonna get shit on by the Bengals.
Yeah, I can see it too. Bengals are early 3.5-point favorites. Again, it's amazing. They just keep
in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, it's in New Jersey.
Now, I will be watching that. That has potential to also be game 1 NLCS. It's also the day of the McDuff's charity, Boys and Girls Club charity golf tournament. So just a reminder for anybody who's in Northern California, Saturday night, this coming Saturday, October 12th, comedy show at McDuff's on the patio. Me, Andy Lazarus, Pete Sestaro, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. Free, buffet with ticket. Great McDuff's food buffet with ticket. Come see some stand-up comedy this Saturday. Sunday morning, if you want to support, you get to play one of the best golf courses in the world, Edgewood. Play some golf. Also support the Boys and Girls Club of Lake Tahoe. But that's what I'll be doing. So that's the Sunday night game. I'll have had a full day of golf, potentially NLCS game 1. It's gonna be a wild evening at McDuff's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a good time of sports year.
It is.
I do want to say, I want to circle back to that Ravens game. And here's the thing about Lamar Jackson, which he's so fun to watch, and some of those scrambles where you can't get him down are insane. But then he'll miss if he's in the. Here's what I find is so interesting about him. But then sometimes when he's in the pocket, and we've seen this, and he's not scrambling, he'll just miss wide open guys. Like, that's kind of, you're right. Like that was his MO on display yesterday. That's what you get from him, where he's almost better playing backyard football.
He is.
He's amazing.
Let me just say this right now. He is worlds better as a quarterback and as a player than Cam Newton.
Oh, it's not even close.
But dude, we saw it all the time. You're like, this team's hard to beat when, a 3rd and 4 is a quarterback off tackle, or when a 2nd and 7 sets up for a 3rd and 2 because you can go quarterback off tackle. But then they would never want to go quarterback off tackle. So it'd be like, Cam overthrowing somebody on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. They go Cam off tackle for 8 yards. It's 3rd and 2. And they're like, well, we can't just run our quarterback off tackle again. And then he overthrows another guy. This is my thing with Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. It seems crazy to like look at somebody as if they're a prospect. Obviously, he's not a prospect. He's arrived. He's won 2 MVPs. But the point is that in the vacuum of any given season, deeming somebody, the Super Bowl favorite, that doesn't happen in any football season unless you're in the midst of, this Chiefs thing or what the Patriots did, where you could say that team has a good shot to win the Super Bowl. Like the Chiefs have a good shot to win the Super Bowl. In any other football season, You really can't say that about any team literally ever except the Patriots, that like in a random week 5, they have a good shot to win the Super Bowl. So you can't say that about the Ravens. You can't say the Ravens have a good shot to win the Super Bowl. So when I evaluate Lamar Jackson, it's always like, does he give them a good shot to win the Super Bowl in the next 10 seasons? And the answer is like, no, because in any given season, you're not going to start that way. And he doesn't project out as getting better. He just doesn't. He doesn't project out as getting better. He only projects out as getting more beat up, slower, harder to, easier to take down.
Clarify when you mean more accurate, his game, like what do you when you say better?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is his game, if you look at his game, right? His game is greatly hindered if suddenly he can't run around. If he can't run around as well, if he can't run around as fast. This is the Dwight Howard thing. Dwight Howard never learned to take a jump shot of any length. So every single day he's in the league, he's literally getting worse. After you go through that 3-year opening your career period where you learn to be in the NBA, you learn that you're playing against big bodies, you're whatever. All of a sudden, 3-4 years in the NBA, Dwight Howard's at peak athleticism. He's just ripping every rebound. He's blocking every shot. They put a team around him. He almost does it. And then every single day after that, he gets worse at the game of basketball. Now, listen, I don't necessarily know that Lamar Jackson isn't going to improve in some of those aspects, but how many years in before, like, we don't do this with, the elite quarterback. We don't go, oh, he just like misses guys.
Well, that's why he's so interesting, because yesterday's a prime example. Like they don't win that game. Like his offensive play. Now he had that fumble, obviously, but it ultimately didn't cost them because the Bengals are a bunch of idiots. But my point is, he played insane, and that's why he's such a conundrum for me, because you go, wow, look at how well he plays, and look at how well he improvises, and that one touchdown that he went across, threw across the field to Likely.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It's incredible. It's insane. It's one of the best plays I've probably seen all season. But then then I see just missed throws, and I go, I'm scratching my head, and I go, oh, how could you miss that guy? And then you see it right the first week against the Chiefs.
And then add on the, forget the like, how did you miss that guy throws? Think about all of the throws in the history of, like, think about the big games in NFL history. Think about those like classic Super Bowl moments. Think about those throws. You're like, I can't believe he made that throw. Not I can't believe he missed that throw. How often do we see the Lamar Jackson? Like the pass to Likely was great, but essentially it was the improv, the falling away, the throwing left as you're rolling right. Like he didn't fit it in a window. It was just like, how did he get it off and how did he throw it there? But like, listen, Lamar Jackson is super fun to watch.
Oh yeah, so
and
fun.
He's a great player.
It's amazing.
But Lamar Jackson's best chance to win the Super Bowl was 2 seasons ago. His second best chance was last season. His third best chance is this season. His fourth best chance is next season. Like, it's unless you sit in the pocket and can pick people apart at a rate, unless your ability to do that raises at a faster level than your ability to run falls off, which, by the way, hasn't happened essentially at all yet.
No.
But we all know that in the NFL, that can change on the course of one play, which it might be an easy way to transition to the super early game yesterday, which is Aaron Rodgers versus the Vikings. It's like,
oh my God,
Aaron Rodgers is 40 coming off an Achilles. I said it from the beginning of the season. I'm on the Bills in the AFC East because the Patriots are rebuilding. I don't believe in the Dolphins. I don't believe in the Jets. I don't believe that all of a sudden a 39-year-old, 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles is going to be like his elusive, scrambly throw, like little wrist snap off the back foot, perfect pass guy. Like
It's tough to watch.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I went through 5 years of Lakers fans. Like, yeah, if we just get like 80% of Kobe back, it's over, bro. He tore his Achilles. It's not happening again. The only way you win if you're the Jets is old Peyton Manning on the Broncos. Motherfuck people with defense.
I was going to say,
don't turn the ball over.
Watching that game yesterday, definitely was having flashbacks of old Peyton Manning on the Broncos, which was also tough to watch. Right? If you're a fan, and we are, if you're a fan of great quarterback play at the highest level, it's tough to watch because you think about what they were. And that was a prime example. Overall, the defense played pretty well for the Jets, and they have all year. And you're like, you just need a little better quarterback play, and you're winning these games. Not even that much better. You just need just a little. And you can win yesterday, and you can beat the Broncos the week before. But I thought, I think it's nostalgia. I was like, oh, maybe he can come back. And I'm just, yesterday kind of for me was like, oh, it's donezo, man.
It's not. This is completely different from, Tom Brady's knee injury when he's 30 or 27 or whatever it was. And this is completely different than somebody, at 39 or whatever, having their throwing shoulder dislocated. Like you tore your Achilles. And how also, by the way, not to like fucking shit on Aaron Rodgers, because I don't really give a fuck about Aaron Rodgers anymore. But what did I say last year? I said what makes Aaron Rodgers annoying is the needing to be in the spotlight all the time and the needing to make himself a story. It's like the hilariousness in retrospect that he dangled coming back last year. Motherfucker, I don't think you should have come back at all. You had the whole offseason, and this is how you look, and you dangled like, yeah, I mean, if we're good at Thanksgiving, what?
And Robert Saleh has hitched his career, and he's gonna be fired. You know what I'm saying? Like the Jets at this point. It's
now
so
listen, the Vikings D is really good.
Vikings are a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and we had the same discussion last week. The NFC at this point, especially with the Niners losing again yesterday at home to the Cardinals, the NFC could not be more wide open, which definitely makes it interesting. We do have a call. It's funny, the Brock Purdy discussion.
Why are we doing this? Who is this for?
Well, we have someone.
Andy, let me ask you something. Do you like Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I think he's great.
Great QB?
I think he's a very good quarterback.
Yeah. I'm gonna go great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have no problem.
We've been through this before. Elite, great, good, mediocre, bad. Right? I'm gonna put him in the great. I'm gonna put him in the lower echelon of great. He's better than good. He's in the great tier. He's not in the elite tier, in my opinion. Well, honestly, I would like to say I'd be more welcome, even though like here everybody knows this about Joe Prano. Joe Prano doesn't like admitting he's wrong. Joe Prano will defend his stance. I'm more open-eared to you calling and saying, Brock's not great, he's good. Brock's not great, he's mediocre. We're saying he's great. I have to read, as you described it, Charles Dickens novels on our Instagram DMs.
Oh my God.
And I have to get a call every week.
Well, this one is actually on our side. This one,
Okay.
this one is responding to the call from Thursday. So that's what this one.
Well, why didn't you? That's a horse of a different color.
Well, you just went on a rant. I'll let you do your thing.
Yo, Andy, Joe. This is for the Brock Purdy caller. I'm watching the game, man. 1 minute, 37 seconds, no timeouts, down by 1. Can you get your team into field goal position? And he throws the pick. He is not it. Love you guys.
Now, obviously, that's one game. So
he is it, by the way, for a Niners team that's fully stacked with all their weapons and their defense and whatever. Like, he is it. He doesn't make the money. He's not demanding the salary. They don't need the quarterback to be elite. It doesn't matter. Like, we've seen the elite quarterback. Like, Josh Allen doesn't beat Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he beat him once in the fucking play. Like, dude, it's going to take more than having an elite quarterback and just being like, oh, this guy's elite. So Patrick Mahomes just is fucking really hard to beat. And that's where we're at in the NFL right now. Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. We're now like, if your team can't beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, what are we talking about? You know? And I'll tell you what Brock Purdy isn't. And I hate to, crack your 7 a.m. West Coast beers, but he's not Eli Manning. Like, it's great. He's a great quarterback. But this is what we're talking about. No McCaffrey. No, the defense not playing like it was before. And the defense didn't play that bad, by the way, a 24-23 game or whatever. It's just, we had to read a fucking novel on Instagram this weekend about Brock Purdy's eliteness. And within 12 hours of receiving the 5,000th word about Brock Purdy's eliteness, he loses a home game to the Cardinals where he throws 2 picks.
And they're touchdown favorites. So that's my thing. Guys, that's why I did make a caveat though. It is 1 week. The NFL, any given Sunday, that's all real. This season more so than ever, I'd argue, that I've seen through the first 5 weeks. But I also argue you got to win those games if you're a Super Bowl team. And to me, that you just brought up the Chiefs. That's the difference. The Chiefs will have their occasional, we talk about like Raiders at home last year on Christmas or the Colts game. But more times than not, the Brady Patriots, the Mahomes Chiefs, they're just not losing those games.
By the way, here's my Brock Purdy take in the smallest, littlest nutshell. The Niners could be the Super Bowl team out of the NFC if they get all their players back healthy. Conversely, the difference between that and elite quarterbacks, the Chiefs will likely be the Super Bowl team from the AFC, even if they lose all their weapons. If Travis Kelce dies in a stampede of femcells trying to get $400 Taylor Swift water bottles.
Is that a word?
Yeah. It's incels, but for women.
Never
a stampede of femcells trying to buy $14,000 hoodies. The Chiefs will still go to the Super Bowl. And that's okay. It's really hard. We went through an era, and we've talked about this, eras. We went through an era where there was 12 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. That era is gone. It's hard to find elite quarterbacks. Having a great quarterback is okay. You don't have a better option if you're the 49ers. You should not be looking for a better option. You should not be drafting a better option. You should not be trying to trade for Brock Purdy is your best option. Spoiler, don't pay him.
I'm good. You know what I've decided I'm going to do? I want to do a deep dive out of curiosity. I'm going to look this week. I'm going to look I'll just do a 5-year window. And I want to see the top 5 quarterbacks, the top 5 paid quarterbacks per season for the last 5 years. And I want to see how the team's finished. Because I think that, for some reason, not enough people talk about it. We do. But to kind of briefly circle back to that Bengals team, guys, they paid Burrow. No, I feel like I'm the only one who says this here in Cincinnati. I go, we all know I'm a big Burrow guy. And he's playing, like I said, I think the best football in his career. He took the max money. They don't have a defense. I'm just saying.
And now what happens with Jamar Chase doing what he's doing this year? Now you have to pay him?
They're so dumb. They're so dumb. Exactly. He's going to get even more money. Jamar Chase has 5 touchdowns already. He's second in the NFL in receiving yards.
I heard a stat on the radio yesterday. Maybe it was was I watching it via the TV? I think I had it on the radio.
The him and Odell stat?
Yeah. At 25. By the way, also, look where Odell is. This is where we are with receivers now, too.
Where is Odell?
In Miami. We didn't hear his name yesterday.
But is he even playing?
Yesterday was, I think, his first game active.
So it's those two, the quickest, the most amount of touchdowns before 25?
Over 60 yards.
Oh, over 60 yards. That's it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's the point. Like you can't. The reason I want to look into that is I just want to show proof.
For example, Odell for sure. I think that was 9 and 10. I think was the number.
That was it. It was 9 and 10. I remember.
I guarantee you, and I haven't looked at this. And everybody knows I'm an Odell guy, including the Rams. Including the year he was on the Rams, where I was like, he should be Super Bowl MVP. He gets hurt in that game, etc. 0% chance Odell has 9 touchdowns of 60 yards or more since turning 25.
Oh, 100%. And my point is, you just to go back to Purdy. That's exactly it. Once you become the highest paid guy, outside of Mahomes or maybe a year or two of Brady, I do think the Giants made the Super Bowl 2 years after Eli became the highest paid.
Oh, in
like 2011.
Yeah. The second.
I mean, I have to look this stuff up, but the point basically holds. You better draft well. You better be good with the cap, and you better be damn good with the finances and moving things around.
Also, those guys, and this is not in defense of the way they paid Eli or anything like that, but the percentage of the cap now is so much higher. You're giving guys $60 million. The cap hasn't gone up threefold since then, when you were giving guys $20 million.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. If you got a QB and you trust your QB, just build everything around it. Turn those receivers good. You need a defense. You need a secondary. And here's the thing. Coaching matters. I don't know how many times we're going to say this. Coaching fucking matters. The Rams are 1-4, but it's like, even yesterday, you're like, God damn, they're in every fucking game.
Yeah.
With who? Who's out there? Who's playing on that team at this point? It matters, man.
I'll tell you, when I watch Rams games, by the way, even in those losses, Matthew Stafford might go down as one of the most underrated quarterbacks of all time.
I agree. I
Like
think at
that
this point he
guy
will.
makes that he is, and he obviously was that for the Rams. But all these teams that are like, borderline, like he's a plug and play, put them over the top. Like Brock Purdy's great. Plug and play Matthew Stafford on the 49ers. They probably won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. He will be. He probably will be one of the most underrated ever.
Because he played in fucking Detroit.
Can we talk about the Browns for a minute?
Sure.
Bro.
Let me ask you something, because it was a game that was essentially over before I was done working. Did they go to Jameis at some point?
I don't think so. I'll pull it up.
What's going on?
Did you see the press conference?
No.
Jameis threw one pass. Stefanski said in the press conference yesterday they're not changing quarterbacks. It's insane at this point. I get it. You guys have the worst trade and the worst contract in NFL history. But you got to take your L. You just got to take your L, man. I mean it.
Let's talk. Let's slide into conspiracy theories now. Okay, I want to play a conspiracy game for you, and I'm not going to make this political, but a right-wing nutbag the other day said Democrats control the weather, and 47% of America believed her.
Where are those stats coming from? Is my question.
I'm just saying, like 47%. We now have people that refuse to.
But where's the polling coming from? 47% is my question.
My point. Where I'm getting 47% is 47% of America is still going to vote for the guy who said they're eating the dogs. Like they don't care. You believe them or you don't care or whatever. It's fine. It will not make you go, this is crazy. This has gone too far. I'm out. You can just say,
but that's one person.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, what who said that, by the way?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Democrats control the weather.
Okay, so but my point is,
and then I know Elon Musk's Twitter is a weird place where those voices get amplified and whatever, but like a lot of people are like, why else would there be flooding in the 400 miles off the coast?
But my point is, you don't have to believe her to vote for the president.
Right, but I'm saying. Again, as they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating your pets. We're now at a point where you can say you paid Deshaun Watson $400 million. Okay, so get 20 million. Do the Richard Reed shoe bomber thing. How much do you think fucking the military industrial complex, who made billions putting body scanners in every airport, had to pay Richard Reed, who was, basically retarded, to, like, do you think they were like, here's $20 million. All you have to do is do this, spend the rest of your life in jail. Your family will be set forever. Pick a random person and be like, I was a masseuse. He shoved a dildo up my ass. He fisted me. He put on one of those Hulk costume fists and put that up my ass. Just like he raped me. He murdered my family. Just like how much to like have somebody accuse him of something so awful that they have to move on. And they have to, it breaches his contract.
But there already is. That's what's so there's 30 plus women that we haven't even heard. The latest one.
I guess this is my question. Does none of this like cross the line to being like, oh, it's avoidable offense? Just be like he's eating the dogs. Be like, this is in Ohio. I saw Deshaun Watson in my backyard. He ate my dog. He ate my cat. He ate my third unnamed type of pet. He ate a cockatoo. He ate a gecko. I saw him. I saw Deshaun Watson. He's got a Traeger grill. He ate my cockatoo. Just lie. Like at this point, just lie.
But my point is, they don't have to. We already have.
I'm just saying, get out of the contract, void it, murder him.
But
Like,
again,
what are we saying? I'm
I'm
not
saying that the latest civil lawsuit, where if you read it, he straight up raped her. And we don't know how many of these were straight up rape at this point. I mean, you lose track. My point is, what I don't understand is why the NFL, because this isn't good for them either. Like, you don't want you want good teams, you want competitive teams. I don't know why they don't just go to Jim Haslam, the Browns owner, and say, look, I think we can get you guys out of this latest case. He's already been, you see my point? He's already been suspended. And this is his second major offense.
Listen, if I was the owner of the team, I'm smart enough never have to done the deal. But if I was dumb enough to have done the deal, I'm now smart enough to have him whacked. And I'm sorry, like, I'm not like, I don't feel that bad for essentially calling for the murder of a guy who's raped like 30 people. But like at this, and also I'm not saying that, like, I don't want this to like get on the end, like, fucking white dude calls for the murder of a fucking young black man or whatever. But like, also, this is your own, like, you fucking made your bed. This is your only out is find a way out of this contract. I mean, find the cutest 5-year-old girl in pigtails with a lollipop. Find the Gerber baby. And just like go into a room and be like, Deshaun, this girl's going to say you raped her unless you just retire from football.
Well, how about this, man?
Just retire.
But
just leave.
How about this? The owner of the Browns, I'm going to pull up his net worth. I mean, you can do all those things. I'm not saying those aren't bad. Jimmy Haslam's net worth is $8.5 billion. My point is, he has enough money to just say, dude, this didn't work out. Here's your 253 or whatever it was. You're cut. Did you know what I'm saying? Like you have so much income. You have billions of dollars.
But it still affects your cap.
That's true.
He needs to die or retire.
What's crazy is the Browns last year, when they struggled, they go to Joe Flacco. They go on a run. They make the playoffs. The point is they still have a team there that you could maybe make some noise, at least to make a playoff push.
Dude, how about this? This is how bad it is, Andy. This is how bad it is. I'm going to say something no one ever expected to come out of the mouth of Joe Prano. Play Jameis Winston, dude. What are you doing?
No, I agree.
Play the other rapist who's terrible at quarterback.
You have to play Jameis at this point.
You have to, like, I get it.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to, like, I mean, so he raped somebody. He only raped like 4 people. Like, he's not even close to Deshaun Watson numbers. Play the other terrible at quarterback rapist. But like, you got to mix it up.
He has 2 more years left in that contract.
Unless you whack him,
he's never coming back.
This isn't a discuss. Like, obviously, you can't discuss this over phone. You can't discuss this at the office. But like, this isn't something like the owner has had a conversation about after patting somebody down on a Cleveland park bench with like a guy, you know? If you're not doing, like, I would never say kill Daniel Jones. Because Daniel Jones might not be a great quarterback, but he's also not a serial rapist. If you have a serial rapist as your quarterback, just to fucking dive bombing your entire franchise with his horrible contract and his terrible play, can't you think about whacking him?
I'm pulling up his cap hit. Oh my god. Holy shit.
If you
Dude,
here's the
have
other
you ever
thing.
looked at this?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you have. The cap hit this year is 27.9 million.
And the
The
cap hit next year is what, 60?
the cap hit in 2025 and 2026 is 72.9 million.
By the
It's
way, this is something I've talked about with multiple quarterbacks. These teams do this.
oh my
They
god.
kick the cap number down the road, but they kick the cap number down the dude, kicking the cap number down the road for Tom Brady, who never misses games and tells you he's going to play till 50, and just being like 4 years from now we'll kick it down the road again, we'll kick it down the road again, we'll kick it down the road again, was a great strategy. Giving Jalen Hurts a number that's going to turn into 65 million unless you kick his. So 2 years from now, the Eagles will either have to pay Jalen Hurts 65 million or extend him. Do you want to eat a gun or do you want to eat a smaller gun? Like taking this cap number and letting it balloon at the end. He was coming off a year off for raping people. And you're like, yeah, we'll just extend him before that balloons. Okay.
You have to start Jameis. I can't believe I'm saying this either. You have to start. Like they're so
You
bad.
also have to start Jameis because he's the only available quarterback on your roster because you whack Deshaun Watson.
He's never coming back. He will never be that player he used to be. Never. He's never coming back. I bet. I do wonder what his teammates think. I wonder if they all just hate him.
Oh, by the way, they must hate the owner and the GM too. That like, can you imagine being in the locker room and looking at this guy and being like, this guy is playing. Not only is he playing the worst out of any starting quarterback in the NFL, his numbers are always worse than guys who come in. Like he's the 43rd ranked quarterback in the NFL or whatever, because like a random bunch of other guys have played games. Imagine just like how angry you are being like, we have a defense and looking at him in the locker room and being like, there's nothing else we can do. And then looking next to him and the guy's like, crab legging, fucking doing his hip shake thing. Like they're looking at the quarterback. They're so mad.
So let me ask you this.
And then they look at the locker next to him, and Jameis is in that locker holding a football, and 3 guys are like poking at him with like brooms. And you're like, what the fuck is this? He's like, just staying ready. Just staying ready? You have 3 guys poking at you with mops? Yeah, this is my workout.
Do you think it's solely the contract or just that they have zero faith in Jameis? It's got to be solely. It's got to be the contract, right?
Probably. It's probably. I mean, I would say probably both, but I would say it's 95%. They just can't eat the deal.
It's just insane. Flacco had another great game yesterday. Now the Colts lost, but it's just insane.
How did we do on our picks yesterday, by the way?
I'm +2
for the week,
yeah,
and for the year.
I think I'm +3 for the year. You took the Bengals. That was a tough one.
There was a moment yesterday where I was like, I'm fucking crushing it.
I took
and then
the Cowboys.
all the games flipped.
I didn't finish that Cowboys. That Cowboys game was too late. I like fourth quarter. I turned the TV off. I was like, I'm crashing. Did you see the CD Lamb Dak thing?
No. What did I miss?
When he threw that garbage.
I had a show last night at Levity, and then when I came back, the game was like over, but I guess I was also still pretty late.
Everybody's trying to mouth read what he said or lip read what he said.
Oh, you want to do a little mouth reading? We still have to talk baseball.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
It's just the interception he threw where he was so mad at Dak. Dak threw a trash interception. I should have had that ready to go, but I don't see it. But like, it was the point is it's a terrible interception. They got to win. Pittsburgh just doesn't have an offense. So now Pittsburgh's 3-2. Cowboys are 3-2. But like neither team is going to do anything.
No.
I'm trying to think what else. Dan, the Bills are now 3-2, man, and the Texans 4-1.
I have a hot take. It's not my hot take, but I want to share. Friend of the show, former guest of the show, Lachlan Patterson thinks Josh Allen is bad. He's like, Josh Allen's bad QB.
Yeah, we talked about this last episode.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and he was stuck on it last night. He's like 9 for 30, bro. 9 for 30, and I'm like, I don't like Houston's defense is good, man. Also, he was like texting me in the middle of yesterday's game when they were down like 20-7. I was like, this game will be close at the end.
And it was.
Josh Allen to get them back in this game. And he did. And a couple big throws. And like, listen, Josh Allen is a roller coaster ride, no doubt about it, because, he's never been the most accurate quarterback. He was under 60% in college. And he turns the ball over a lot. And listen, I will say this to, the people who have always hated us for Lamar Jackson takes is Josh Allen's chances of winning the Super Bowl don't go up every year. They also go down every year because Josh Allen's mobility and Josh Allen's ability to run people over and Josh Allen's like elusiveness is a major part of Josh Allen's game. He's not the pick you apart, throw 70% of his passes guy. Meanwhile, by the way, what it makes me want to kill myself, but at least it's not the Cowboys or the Eagles. Jaden Daniels is super elusive, but Jaden Daniels will pick you fucking apart. We're already looking at a guy who completes a ridiculously high percentage of his passes. So for all the people who are like, you hate Lamar Jackson, you're a racist, or whatever the fuck the hot takes are, it's like I want to kill myself that Jaden Daniels is in my division.
Dude, he's great.
And listen, this is why I want the Giants to lose. Look at what being 2 places higher in the fucking draft did. Jamar Neighbors is great. He's great.
Yeah.
But he doesn't change your franchise.
No, he's been the real deal so far. Daniels. The completion percentage is insane for a rookie. And
he looked very mediocre against the Giants, who you talk about a win that got away. The game that we held them to no touchdowns and still lost while scoring 3 touchdowns. But Jaden Daniels is skinny, little skinny. He's not going to be able. He would never last if he did the Lamar Jackson. He would never last if he did the Josh Allen. And he has no interest in it, seemingly. He's like, I'll just complete 75% of my passes and run when I need to. Josh Allen's chances of winning a Super Bowl do not go up as he gets older. But at the same time, that's part of the Josh Allen experience. Is like sometimes he's going to go 9 for 30. But I still think you look at Josh Allen, it's like, what are the Bills without Josh Allen? You name fucking 8 guys on the Bills?
Well, they're nothing. That's what they are.
Yeah. What are the Niners without Brock Purdy? In the Super Bowl with Jimmy G? Like,
yeah, it's true. I mean, there's not too many teams you can do that about. Right? Like if you said, what are they without insert quarterback? It's very few teams.
That's why, and then not to try to segue over to baseball, but people have been like, Shohei Ohtani was 50-50 this year. It's one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen. He's obviously the MVP of the National League. And it's like, what are the Dodgers without Shohei Ohtani? They win the West. they're the 1 seed. What are the Mets without Francisco Lindor? The Nationals. So, that's where we always go. We've gone back and forth on what the MVP in all these leagues means at this point. But like Josh Allen, not a great game yesterday, but also had them right there against a good defense on the road, playing that's the Josh Allen experience. Is that necessarily the court? Like, is he the guy I want? Like, if you were like, you can pick any quarterback to build your team around, he's probably below Mahomes, obviously, but he's also probably below Burrow on my list. Obviously Burrow's had some injuries, but it's just like the style of play.
It adds up. I mean, the argument, what are they? Obviously, what are the Chiefs without Mahomes? The Ravens is an interesting one. What are they without Lamar Jackson? Obviously, they won a Super Bowl with.
That was a long time ago.
Flacco, but I was about to say that was like 5 years later. We know what the Bengals are without Burrow. There's not too many teams. By the way, Bengals comparison at this point. Are we talking about those 7-9 Drew Brees teams that put up a ton of points and had no defense?
Well, I mean, listen. Weirdly,
is that your comp?
That could be comp. Listen, Joe. I'll say it right now. I think Joe Burrow's a significantly better quarterback than Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees ever so slightly overrated. I think Sean Payton ridiculously overrated. So if you want to do a Zach Taylor, Sean Payton comp, I'm here for that.
Broncos are 3-2 now.
Yeah. They've beaten the Jets, they've beaten the Raiders, and they've beaten who else?
The Bucs.
That's a good win.
That's a good win at the Bucs.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I do want to play let me play one more quick NFL call. 310-359-8365 is the hotline. I have not picked up on this. I don't know if you have. You probably haven't because you don't really listen to the announcers.
Hey, all ya Dirty Sports. It's your boy Nick from New Jersey in Alaska. Long-time listener, first-time caller. What do you guys think of Tom Brady moaning every big play that happens? Like, Ayuk is going down the field. All you hear is, oh! Like, Brady, relax, Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Condoms over Deshaun Watson, What a bum. Anyways, peace out.
For the first time ever, I'm going to say condoms aren't for Deshaun Watson. If we could get some DNA evidence against Deshaun Watson, maybe we could get out of this once and for all.
I haven't heard the Brady. Oh,
Maybe
I don't pay close enough attention.
Yeah. Even when I don't think there's been a Brady game this year. I actually tuned in week 1. I tuned in to watch the Brady game to see how he was doing, but I don't think there's a Brady game this year that I've had as my prime TV game. I got a red zone going on one thing. Then I usually have my Giants going on the main. Then in the afternoon, I'll swap between local games and the red zone. I haven't had Tom Brady. I don't think I've watched a full Tom Brady game, or Tom Brady was like my audio watching experience. Besides me tuning in the beginning and was like, it's kind of janky. But am I surprised by that? No, I'm not surprised by that. I have an amazing ability, and I've talked about my ability to do this in life in general. Living in New York City, living on Venice Beach, I have an amazing ability to tune out sound that I'm not interested in hearing. I tune out a lot of announcer sound.
Well, I'm trying to think if I've had him on. You're right. If I have 4 games on at once, it's like, is that the main game? I don't know if I haven't gotten a full game of Brady, but to be honest, I feel like it's flown under the radar. Brady sliding into the booth. I still laugh at these guys just can't give it up.
Yeah.
Like it's insane to me that he's announcing. It really is.
It's insane to me that he's announcing.
Right? Like it's just I just can't get over it. Like, dude, you're Tom fucking Brady. Do you love the game that much? You just refuse to give it up?
I say it all the time. That'd be full Schwimmer. Like the fucking Aniston with the morning show and the Joey spinoff and this fucking thing. And, you know, I'm full Schwimmer. You give me that forever Friends money. I guess I'll come back for a reunion if you want. But otherwise, like, I'm good. I'm just going to sit on a pile of money.
No, he clearly just can't give. That's what it is. It's like you can't give up the game. You could almost argue, and I don't know if this would hold up, but you could almost argue it's like an addiction.
Oh, it's mental illness for sure.
It's like you're addicted to it.
And then it's like, are you addicted to the football? Are you addicted to the grind? Are you addicted to the fame? Is there some part of Tom Brady who's just like, you can't be out of the spotlight? I would just be like, they'd be like, there goes Joe Prano. They were like, is that Joe Prano with like hair down to his back and a beard and Bali? Like, you never I would just be like, people would spot me like they spot Elvis. And they're like, that's not Elvis, dude. Guy's got an afro. And I'd be like, it'd just be me looking like Grizzly Adams, and like people in like a cafe in Bali were like, is that Joe Prano? And I'm like, fuck Philadelphia. And they're like, it is him. It is him. Just like leaving tips for waitresses that are like too big and then put fuck Philadelphia at the bottom of them.
So 1-1 for Philadelphia. 1-1 for your boys against Philly.
Yeah. Emotional already. It's already an emotional drain.
Remind me, are these 5 or 7 game series?
5. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's so much to this, Andy, and you'll never normally hear me say this. And this doesn't mean that I want to win any less, especially against Philadelphia, which I have so much to unpack with Philadelphia and Philadelphia sports fans and your fucking lame ass Red October and you guys leaving your fucking, and Dodgers fans, Philly fans and Dodgers fans, like battling for fucking lamest, loserist, fucking pathetic fan bases. I already feel like the Mets have won this season. The Mets essentially like kind of punted on this year, and they're doing this like magical thing. Now, at the same time, it's like when you've got a little bit of the fairy dust, you've gotta like capitalize on it. But there's a little bit of me that feels a security blanket of like, oh my God, are we about to be good for like a long time? But then there's also the like, if you're playing oh my God next year, it gets kind of corny. Right?
Yeah.
You need it now. But there is a part of me, like, it doesn't feel so it feels very much like how I felt about the Knicks, where I was like, huh, yeah, a bunch of guys hurt. We're still on the cusp of like making the Eastern Conference Finals. Are we about to be good for like a long time? Now in basketball, it's so much more difficult for sustained success, because like, what's your window with like a great player? You know, Jalen Brunson, great player, 6'1" or whatever, like doesn't project out to being like dominant at getting in the paint for the next 10 years. you know? But when you come to a situation where the Mets have this like financial advantage, no salary cap, although I feel like that's going to change just because of the Mets. So there's a little bit of security to that. That being said, it's like, God damn it. We were up. First of all, to win that game one, legendary. Like we're now going on like 10 days. You know, the Mets haven't been home in their own beds in like a week and 2+ weeks, 16, 17 days or something like that. They went to Milwaukee. They went to Atlanta. They went back to Milwaukee. They went to Philly. They haven't been home since any of that. To come back from Philly 1-1 is everything. To steal game one from Zach Wheeler the way they did is everything. Like I would have paid 50% of my bank account to come home 1-1, and we are. Come back in that game last night to just tie it in the ninth. Vientos, 2 2-run bombs. Vientos hitting a high fastball that was 2 inches off the plate to left center field out. Like, yo, that is big Dick McGee shit. And then obviously losing it. But we were talking about lip reading before. Did you see the Castellanos thing?
So what did he say?
He said, fuck these people. Or these fucking people. Dude, your own players hate your fans. And then you go into the comments under this, it's like, we demand more from our players. You're losers. You demand more from, what are you talking about? You're a fucking shithead who eats fucking hoagies. You demand more. You're not the GM of the team. You're not the manager of the team. You're a fat fucking loser who beats his wife and eats Wawa sandwiches as fancy fucking meal. You don't demand. Fuck you, you losers. Phillies fans, historically, the biggest losers that have ever. This is the standard that we hold our players to. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? You work at the phone company. What the fuck are you talking about? You work for the city of Philadelphia, emptying garbage cans. This is the standard which we hold our players to. Get fucked, bro. You changed tires at a Firestone. You're not the fucking owner of the team. You're booing players who are the 1 seed for swinging at bad pitches to the point where Nick Castellanos is like, literally, fuck our fans. Is there a bigger population of losers in the whole world than Philly sports fans?
I don't know. I don't really know any Phillies fans.
Just imagine fucking. You're in a playoffs. He's at bat in a playoff series where you're the 1 seed, and he's literally like, "I hate you. I hate you people." Imagine having that bad of a fan base, where your fucking 4 hitter in the middle of a playoff series goes, "I hate your guts. You people are despicable fucking losers." And being like, "That's us. That's what we do. That's what we demand of our players." You're the fucking loserest fan base that's ever existed. And then you give up a 5-run inning in the 8th in game 1, and you all walk. You all walk. Dodgers fans, Phillies fans, leaving early when their team's down, throwing shit at players, booing people. Fucking losers. You're losers. Did you see the Dodgers game last night?
The fights?
Yeah. Also, the game had to be stopped because they wouldn't stop throwing things at Padres players.
I was watching some of those fights.
Imagine not caring enough to be there for the start or the end of the game, but caring enough to assault people.
I just don't know why fans are just like the behavior is just, as an adult, you're just like, what are you doing?
It's and I'm saying it's craziness, it's delusion. Like, imagine this is what I don't understand about Phillies fans. Like, you booed the guy, he fucking calls you out. He's like at the play, he's like, fuck you. And then their delusion of like, we like the response of like, no, what we did is okay. This is who we are. And this response from Dodgers fans, if you don't want to fucking get assaulted, don't talk shit. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? How big of a fucking loser adult are? This isn't a child. A 10-year-old didn't like snap and have a hissy fit and throw a baseball. Adults are assaulting people and cursing people out. Can you feel a baseball game moving? It's fucking pathetic, dude.
Well, I'd
There's
argue
fights outside of Dodger Stadium.
I know. I'd argue it's not just sports. We've entered. There's no order in society. I mean, go anywhere, man. Go to a restaurant. Go on a flight. Like, everybody is just so angry and aggressive and wants to fight and wants to chew somebody out. It's just why everybody's so like the tension level is so damn high. It's a sports event, man. It's a baseball game. It's a football game. Why are we getting blacked out drunk? I used to do it. Don't get me wrong. I used to do it when I was younger.
You would do what?
Like, get blacked out drunk. I wouldn't fight.
Oh, yeah.
But like I always go back to this now that I have another kid on the way. You don't want to bring your kids around that shit.
It was deserved for Castellanos. He should know better at this point. But the way he bounced back frees him of all the hatred that could have been had this game. He knows. You think he's purposely? You know how fucking hard it is to determine the difference between a fastball and a breaking ball? This like Ryan from Philadelphia would piss in his pants if he just had to hit only fastballs. He should know better. You're a fucking loser. Bullying works. Love it. That's accountability. How fucking delusionally pathetic do you have to be to justify cursing a guy out who's the only reason you were in a World Series a couple years ago? It's the only reason this team has been completely different since he joined it, to protect. And you want a little baseball breakdown? I'll give you a little managerial baseball breakdown on this series. You know why the Mets aren't up 2-0? And you know how the Mets win this series and don't give this away? Attack Bryce Harper. Stop pitching around the guy to get to a guy who's come up in the clutch. Do not let what Bryce Harper has done to other teams affect how you approach him. Bryce Harper's career at Citi Field is pathetic. It's bad. Do not pitch around Bryce Harper to go to Nick Castellanos, who is smart enough to know Philadelphia sucks. All these fans suck. I'm here to fucking play baseball and make money. Attack the mentally weak guy. Don't attack the mentally strong guy.
How pivotal is that game 3, right? I assume statistically.
Massive.
Right. Yeah, I figured.
Win at home and make the Phillies have to win 2 games. That's why that game 2, listen, I would have paid any amount of money to be 1-1. But my God, was it heartbreaking to come back and tie that game and then go ahead and lose, especially the way they did, especially not attacking. The Mets must attack Bryce Harper. The amount of times that I have seen Bryce Harper swing and miss at an outside fastball that he is just straight up behind because he's guessing on. He's guessing breaking pitch, missing high and away fastballs in Citi Field. If I had $1 for every time I saw it, attack Harper.
We do a baseball call.
Let's do it.
Where are we at here? Where is that?
What's up, boys? Baseball question for Prano. I was wondering what you thought of Bobby Witt Jr. It seems like he's had an incredible season and just doesn't get a ton of national attention. So, curious what you thought of his season, and like if he's on the Yankees, how would people talk about him? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean that's the essence of it. Bobby Witt is going to be one of the elite shortstops in baseball. He's going to be one of the elite players. If he wasn't in Kansas City, he would get a ton of attention, which, by the way, is why all of your theories about fucking Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are dumb. Why isn't Major League Baseball, fixing it for the Royals? Why aren't they like hoisting Bobby Witt up onto a pedestal? This is where your ludicrous theory about fucking markets falls apart, which I said yesterday, by the way, or in game one when the Mets were getting hosed on calls. Fans being like, they want the Phillies to win. I promise you, nobody involved in baseball, nobody who makes money broadcasting baseball, being the commissioner of it, no one wants the Phillies to win. The Mets are a much bigger draw, a much bigger story. All Major League Baseball and all Fox wants is Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. Like if they could end the Mets Philly series right now, they fucking probably would. Yeah, Witt is going to be incredible, and if he was on the Yankees, he would be an MVP candidate, and they would be talking about him. I don't know if they'd be talking about him like he was the next Derek Jeter, because then they'd have to admit his stats already dwarf Jeter's, and it might put Jeter's career into some sort of realistic frame. But yeah, they'd be jizzing. The national media would be jizzing all over themselves if he was a Yankee. Or if he was a Dodger.
How do you think that series will go?
The Yankees-Royals series?
Yeah.
So tough because it really feels like, I mean, listen, it's baseball, so it could go anywhere. Like I'm really hopeful that the Royals can compete, but it just might be a lack of firepower. It might just be like, for that franchise to have gone down after the 2015 World Series and to be back here. I know it's 9 years later, but to be back already without spending the money and without whatever, and having a team that can compete. But there is a firepower. I obviously hope, I'm not rooting for a Subway series would be super fun. A Dodgers Yankees series, a Padres Yankees series would be super fun, but like, I don't want to see the Yankees there. So I'm really hopeful. But I think it's probably Yankees on to the ALCS, but I'd really love to be wrong, but they were right there in game one. Those are the kind of things where it's like, the Mets series completely, the attitude around the series completely changes when the Mets steal one in Philly. Now you're coming home for the first time in 2 weeks with a chance to go up. Whereas like, God forbid you go down 2-0 and then have to go to Kansas City down to, that's just like, that would be a tough hill to climb.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, how do I think that series will go? Fully determined tonight. Which I'm looking at the pitching matchup. I'm trying to pull it here.
Royals have to win.
Yeah. Yankees are minus 150. Casey's plus 125. Not bad. Rodon for the Yankees. Like, yeah, Royals have to win tonight.
And what? The Tigers are up. I'm sorry, Cleveland's up 1-0, right?
Yep. I think that series will be a dogfight, even though the first one was, I think 7-0 blowout. I think that'll be a dogfight just because they're division teams and just because they're kind of like, I would say they're flying under the radar as far as the 4 series go. It's probably the one with getting the least attention. Now, that's why I think it'll be a dogfight. But the other thing could be like, oh, there's such little attention on it that, maybe the Indians go 3-0 and they're just sitting there waiting for a fucking Yankees team.
Guardians, Joe. Guardians.
Sorry, Guardians.
I know that's a tough pivot.
Yeah. Commanders, easy pivot.
It is a
football team.
Dude, if you look at Cleveland's history, they obviously haven't won a title, but like, I'd be curious. They kind of have been consistently pretty good since the mid-90s, right?
The baseball team?
Baseball team.
I don't know if they've been consistently good since the mid-90s, but they've had a lot of good seasons. I mean, they obviously played in a World Series with the Cubs.
Okay, well, if you pull it up, how many playoff
Indians playoff series, playoff history?
So since 95, they've made the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 playoff appearances since 1995.
There you go. Pretty darn good.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? You're making the playoffs about half the time in the last 30 years. Not that that's always got to be the barometer, but I would say now it's obviously a lot easier to make the playoffs now.
But also since 95, the White Sox have won a championship. The
Tigers have played in 2 World
Tigers
Series?
won a championship, right? Or did they win one there?
No, I don't think so. They've played in 2.
But they
lost the Cardinals in 2006.
Yeah. And then
and then I think made it.
And then the Royals have been to titles and won one.
True. I saw someone make a comment. I saw someone make a comment about Cleveland. It was a Bengals fan. It's like, at least we're not the Browns. It's like, but you kind of are. Like
Yeah.
it's such a weird. If you asked me who can get out of this rut quicker, I would argue the Browns could, simply because the one team has the same ownership since 1991.
Also, baseball and football, like the difference is like you could.
But I'm talking football, obviously.
No, I know. I'm saying if a Cleveland Indians fan, let's say the Cleveland Indians, let's say the Cleveland Guardians lose to the Tigers, it would be very valid to say, at least we're not the Reds. In football, bro, until you have a Super Bowl, you are the, like, you're just like one of the 8 teams that's never won a fucking Super Bowl.
There's more than that. It's fascinating. Teams without a Super Bowl. How many teams do you think there are?
12.
There's 12, yeah. Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jags, Chargers, Vikings, Titans. And 4 of those had never played in a Super Bowl. Browns, Lions, Texans, Jags. I'll tell you what, Lions fans. This is the year, like this is the year where you want that home field advantage. I mean, look at Minnesota. I just can't get over Minnesota 5-0. That's a tough place to play as far as noise too, in that dome. We had the game on yesterday. And my girlfriend was like, we're like eating breakfast or whatever. She goes, wait a second. Why is someone wearing a Chiefs jersey at a Vikings Jets game? And I was like, are we doing this? I was like, well, they're in London. I was like, and to be fair, I don't even do cut camera. I was like, to be fair, it's just like they're trying to get NFL fans out.
Yeah. London, the cut cam isn't a thing.
No.
Because also in London, like, cuckold. I love it. Why wouldn't I want someone to fuck my wife? I mean, I'm having tea. Someone should be fucking her. Bravo. Cheerio. Carry on, mate. Good job.
Well, look, we got a big day ahead. We got a big week ahead. Give us a call, 310-359-8365. That's the hotline. You guys know.
Come see me this weekend at McDuff's Pub, Tahoe, Saturday night. All the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club of Lake Tahoe. Come play golf Sunday. Boys and Girls Club, Lake Tahoe at Edgewood. All the proceeds, once again, go to a great cause. It's honestly maybe my favorite weekend of the year. It coincides with football. It coincides with playoff baseball. There's golf. There's the best pub this side of the Mississippi. It's a fantastic time. Come out and check that out. Monday of next week, a week from today through Sunday of next week, I'll be at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club in Las Vegas. That'll be super fun. I love that show. It's at MGM. Just a great experience, great club. Come any night of the week, one show a night, every night, or let's watch some playoff baseball at, the Circle Pool, or let's play golf during the day. If you're in Vegas, reach out to me. We'd love to hang with you. Big game 3, Mets return home tonight. Let's fucking go, Mets. Mets fans, show up early. Leave late. Don't be Phillies fans. Don't be Dodgers fans. You live in New York City. You're immediately better than those people. Don't become fucking pathetic fucking losers. As for Philly fans, enjoy your fucking gas station hoagies, you fucking losers.
Shots fired. All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.